Hello everyone. So today we'll be studying about the structure of an atom. We'll be studying the structure with the help of three models, which are Thomson's model, Rutherford's model and Bohr's model of an atom. So first we will study about the Thomson's model of an atom. When J.J. Thomson proposed his model of an atom in 1903, then only electrons and protons were known to be present in an atom. He proposed that the model of an atom is similar to that of a Christmas pudding, as we can see in this image as well. The electrons in a sphere of positive charge were like plums or dry fruits present in a Christmas pudding. That's why this model is called as plum pudding model. We can also compare this to a watermelon. The positive charge in the atom is spread all over this red edible part, while the electrons are studded in this red part like the seeds in the watermelon. Hence, overall Thomson proposed that an atom is positively charged sphere and the electrons are embedded in it. The negative and positive charges are equal in magnitude, so an atom as a whole is neutral. The limitation of this model is that the results of the experiments carried out by other scientists could not be explained by this model. Now, before discussing the Rutherford's model of an atom, let us see the experiment that is set up by the Rutherford. He was interested in knowing how the electrons are arranged within an atom. So he designed an experiment for this. The structure of an experiment is somewhat that is shown in this picture. In this experiment, fast moving alpha particles were made to fall on a thin gold foil in vacuum. For the experiment, he selected a gold foil because he wanted as thin layer as possible. This gold foil was about 1000 atom thick. He chose alpha particles, which are nothing but a doubly charged helium ions having a considerable amount of energy. These particles were studied by means of flashes of light they produce on striking a zinc sulfide screen. This zinc sulfide screen, which can be seen in this image, is also called fluorescence screen. It was expected that alpha particles would be deflected by the subatomic particles in the gold atoms. Since the alpha particles were much heavier than the protons, he did not expect large deflections by alpha particles. But the alpha particles scattering experiment gave totally unexpected results. Now let's just discuss the Rutherford's observation by the alpha particle scattering experiment. He observed that most of the alpha particles passed straight through the gold foil. That means these particles passed straight from this gold foil without getting deflected. So he concluded that most of the space inside the atom is empty. The second observation was that very few particles or some of the alpha particles deflected by the foil by small angles. From this, he concluded that positive charge of atom occupies very little space. His last observation was that a very few particles completely rebounded on hitting the cold foil. That is, when alpha particles are passed, they get deflected and rebounded completely, hitting the cold foil. By this, he concluded that all the positive charge and mass of the cold atom is concentrated in a very small volume in an atom. On the basis of the alpha particle scattering experiment, Rutherford proposed the Rutherford's nuclear model of an atom. According to this model, an atom consists of a positively charged, dense, and hard nucleus containing all the protons and neutrons. Almost the entire mass of the atom is concentrated in this nucleus. The nucleus is surrounded by negatively charged electrons, as we can see in this image as well. These electrons revolve around the nucleus in circular motion. The circular path followed by the electron are called orbits, and the size of the nucleus is very small in comparison to that of the atom. The drawback of this model is that it does not explain the stability of an atom. By this, we mean that the revolution of electrons in circular path is not expected to be stable because the electron will get accelerated and it will radiate energy, as it is charged particle, and thus it would lose energy and finally fall into the nucleus and hence will become highly unstable. To overcome this drawback, another model of atom was proposed later by Niels Bohr. Now let's discuss about the Bohr's model of an atom. In order to overcome the limitations of Rutherford model, he proposed some postulates. The very first postulate says that an atom is made up of three particles: electrons, protons, and neutrons. The electrons are negatively charged, the protons are positively charged, and the neutrons have no charge. They are neutral, and an atom as a whole is also neutral. Secondly, he proposed that the protons and neutrons are located in the nucleus. This means that he proposed that the protons and neutrons are located in small nucleus at the center of the atom. Due to the presence of protons, nucleus is positively charged. The third postulate says that the electrons revolve around the nucleus in a fixed circular path called energy levels or shells. As we can see in this image as well, the electrons are moving in a fixed circular path around the nucleus. The energy level or shells are represented in two ways, either by the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 or by alphabets K, L, M, N. Fourthly, there is a limit to the number of electrons which each energy level can hold. For example, K shell can hold maximum of 2 electrons. Similarly, L shell can hold a maximum of 8 electrons. Each energy level is associated with a fixed number of energy. The shell nearest to the nucleus having a minimum energy and the shell farthest to the nucleus have the maximum energy. Lastly, there is no change in the energy of electrons as long as they keep revolving in the same energy level and atom remains stable. The change in the energy of an electron takes place only when it jumps from a lower energy level to a higher energy level, or when it comes down from a higher energy level to a lower energy level. When an electron gains energy, it jumps from a lower energy level to a higher energy level, and when an electron comes down from a higher energy level to a lower energy level, it loses energy. Hence, all these discussions help us understand the three models of an atom. Now, attempt the test to evaluate what you have learned so far. The link of the test is mentioned in the description box below. Enroll yourself today to have live interactive sessions at Cerebral Science Academy. You can also contact us at our number 9311517934 or can email us at info.cerebralscience@gmail.com.